All right, we are on video 4 of our series on how to create your own successful weight loss plan. And so thus far you have collected 2 weeks of data. In the last video, we went through that data and picked out the most important things to begin to focus on. And now we're gonna talk about what amount of change is realistic and how to set yourself up for success. As a coach, where I think coaching is invaluable, truly invaluable, is in the process of someone slowing you down and saying, let's bite off far less than what you would normally bite off because you can't chew all that, right? And when we're left to our own devices, we'll say, oh gosh, I'm drinking 10 alcoholic beverages a week. I'm eating out 4 times. Oh my gosh, I'm eating 3,000 calories. No, I must slash. Take all that away because you want to see all things go correct right away. As a coach, having worked with hundreds and hundreds of people at this point, human behavior change does not happen that way. It just doesn't. You are not going to change at lightning pace because you want to. You're going to have to give yourself time to establish different behaviors. Set the bar low. Make it reachable. This again is why traditional diets do not work, because you're taking somebody from 0 to 100 overnight. You're not allowing them to do what we're doing here, which is assess what they actually do and then make small points of improvement. So what do I mean by that? I tend to tell people focus on about a 25% improvement rate. So let's just say you're eating out 10 times in a week. I'm just going to use nice round numbers. If we're looking for an improvement rate that is realistic, reducing it by 2 or tops 3 times. So someone who's eating out 10 times, and maybe that's a mixture of Starbucks in the morning, grabbing lunch out at work, and maybe that's a mixture of dinner. What we would say is, what is a realistic amount of change for you to reduce it by 2 or 3, 25%? So could you take off 2 or 3 of those eating out experiences, either taking your breakfast with you, maybe packing a lunch, maybe having something in instead of going out with your family for dinner. And that would take you down to about 7 to 8 eating out experiences for the week. That would be a very good realistic goal to set for yourself. Once that becomes easy, you're not struggling, your family is adapting, you're adapting, you could then do another pass at it and reduce it again until you get it to a place where you feel it's sustainable, maintainable. Your family might put their heels in and say, gosh, no, pizza night will not go. You have to work in with the family unit to make this work, right? So there might be a point at which you draw a line in the sand and say, look, I'm currently at 10 times a week. I could maybe definitely get it down to 2 or 3 over the course of months, but I don't think we'll ever completely stop eating out. Great. At least now you have a point at which to shoot for. The next thing you might say is, oh my gosh, I'm drinking 10 alcoholic drinks a week. Again, 25 to 30% improvement on that. Could I reduce it to 7 or 8? Could I take 2 to 3 drinks off the table? Again, a behavioral win. You're reducing the amount of alcohol you're consuming. If you're somebody who's maybe eating a lot of treats, maybe you're having 2 or 3 treats a day, which is not uncommon, by the way, I just want to throw that out there. 21 treats for the week. Could you maybe reduce that by 25%, which I'm going to go and round that to about taking off 4 of those treats for the week? Could you do that? And maybe the answer for you is yes, you could, right? So it's making these slight modifications. Once it becomes easier for you, you can layer something in. Now, what I tell people is when we're looking at these behaviors, we only want to be focusing on maybe 2 categories at once. If you try to change alcohol, eating out, treats, physical fitness, which we didn't even get to that yet, but if you try to change all of those simultaneously, it might feel like you're doing a lot all at once and it might be overwhelming. So you may want to pick 1, 2 things tops when it comes to food, and then maybe pick something with physical fitness. So if you're somebody who's not getting a lot of movement in right now, maybe like we talked about in the previous video, you're somebody who gets 2 5-minute walks in with your dog, maybe you're going to 1 Zumba class, could you add in maybe another 5 to 10 minute walk? Or could you maybe do another Zumba at home, like some kind of a direct video that you would enjoy one other day of the week, and just gently add in a little bit of fitness? But you don't want to go again and start training for a triathlon because you want to add more physical fitness in, right? So you're looking at, what are the behaviors I want to change? Focusing on about that 25% decrease, right, when it comes to these food categories we talked about, and ultimately assessing when that starts to feel easy. And you'll know because you're not having to white knuckle it. You're like, okay, this is my new normal. I'm feeling really good. And I hear this often from my coaching clients. When we start establishing a habit, it feels like they're white knuckling it. Once several weeks have passed by, it actually gets way, way easier. So just want to encourage you not to get discouraged if it feels really hard at first. So what are we doing? We are taking a look at changing at most 3 things. Maybe 2 from food, maybe 1 from fitness. That's up to you, kind of looking at your own personal data. And you're trying to move the needle in the right direction with your calories. If you're really great on all categories, you're just generally overeating, maybe the goal for you is, okay, I'd like to reduce my calories by about 200 or so and kind of move down a little bit. So what I might set for my goal is to slightly reduce the amount of food I'm eating at every meal. Maybe if I'm having breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack, could I take 50 calories out of each one of those meals to create the calorie deficit? Very small progress, right? We don't have to do crazy big things. Over time, these behaviors, with other behaviors being changed, will start to move the needle in the right direction. You guys have a good one, and I'll be back with you soon.